organization, that means a populist viewpoint that expresses itself and shows what the collective concerns are, not just individual concerns. Individual concerns are great, but when you get them into a group, say, we want more ghee in the prasadam, then that is a good concern. They could say, stop using canola oil, now start using more ghee.
Right.
That's a very bland, non-political, non-sociological concern. But I'm just saying that is how simple it can be.
Okay, so I got a message from one of the devotees just a few weeks ago, and they made this document and they were sharing it with everyone. So this is from an excerpt.
Are you sharing it with us tonight?
Yeah, this is on the screen. Can't you not see?
Yes.
Yes. You see it?
Yes.
Okay. This is from excerpts from His Holiness Devamrita Swami's 2002. Yeah, 2002 Vyasa Puja offering to Srila Prabhupada. So some devotees shared this document and they were asking for opinions here. We want your opinion. This is a social media opinion poll. If you agree with
that sounds exactly like what we're talking about.
Yes. So that's why I'm sharing this. So this is an example of how the devotees shared this. A lot of devotees shared this and people discussed on it. So this is just an example of what we can create. So we'll just go through this and then see the responses from devotees. So this is from here. See it? Just once again, Vyasa Puja offering.
Why does it start with 3?
What?
It seems to start with number 3. Oh, here's
No.
number 1.
No. It's 1. It has 1, 2.
I got it. Yeah, now I can see it. Otherwise, I could only see 3.
Yes. Okay. So let's start. We want your opinion. This is a social media opinion poll. If you agree with the following statements made by the current ISKCON guru.
By this current ISKCON guru.
Oh, by this current ISKCON guru, confirm yes with your reasons. Why? If you disagree, answer no and give your reasons. No opinion implies tacit consent.
Tacit.
Tacit. What is tacit? Let's look it up.
Means
silence.
Yeah. Silence.
Unspoken intent.
Okay, it's saying understood or implied without being stated.
When a person is taciturn, it means that they're very quiet and kept to themselves.
Okay.
So tacit means unspoken opinion.
Okay, unspoken opinion. Okay. No opinion implies tacit consent. We quote some excerpts from an offering to Srila Prabhupada by him. Him, they mean Devamrita Swami. So let's go to number 1. During your physical presence, your books were our be all and end all. Now we have entered consciously or unconsciously a new era of ISKCON known as PPB. What does this mean? That is post-Prabhupada book. More than a few seasoned devotees and supportive academics opine. What's this? Opine?
Yeah.
Opine needs to give, it's the same root as opinion.
Okay, opine.
Opine means to give the opinion.
Acha. More than a few seasoned devotees and supportive academics opine that it's time to
Indeed,
it's time to move on. Okay.
From what to what?
Yeah, let's read it, then we'll discuss. I think it's going to go.
Good.
Okay, Rupa, can you read number 2? I'm just butchering everything.
maybe while maintaining our eternal gratitude to you, our founder Acharya, it's now necessary to evaluate what you have left us and distill whatever part of that legacy should accompany us into the future of a different world and a different ISKCON.
Okay, number 3.
3. Amidst the burgeoning potpourri of Gaudiya Vaishnavism outside of India, do you still assert that your books are sufficient for bringing us to the zenith of bhakti? Can your books withstand time? That is, are the purports and language dated? If not now, then in the future? 4. Is emphasis on distributing your books by whatever method outmoded? Isn't ISKCON without emphasis on mass distribution a breath of fresh air for us?
Number 5.
Number 5, should our senior devotees take the lead in demonstrating lifelong dependence on your books for their spiritual sustenance and delight? Is there a danger that by doing so, they could inhibit their spiritual maturity? 6, would we gain anything significant and lasting if ISKCON's leaders, in both word and example, rallied to exalt your books as the main basis of our cultural unity?
Okay. This was a social media poll and people wrote responses. So let me load the responses on the screen. 1 second. Let me stop sharing this. 1 second. Okay. Did you see this super majority anywhere on Facebook?
No, I've never seen it.
Okay, you haven't seen it. Okay, a lot of people shared it.
When was it shared?
Oh, this was shared by several devotees. Your friend in, what's her name, in New Zealand? What's her name?
Panchali?
Panchali, yes. What's her? Yeah, Tina something. Tina, yeah.
Tina
She
Marie.
Yeah, Tina Marie, yes. Yeah, okay.
So when was this shared?
This
Recently?
was, yeah, recently. So people gave their opinions.
Like a few days ago or a few weeks ago?
I got it about a week ago. Tina Marie shared it 3 days ago. So I'm just posting some responses, some comments from devotees.
Oh,
I'll
okay.
share. Okay, let me share it.
Yeah, I'm surprised I didn't see it.
Okay. All right, let's see. Share. So here are some of the responses people have shared. This is, you know how the comments get sometimes crazy on Facebook. But here, Prahlad Chandra Das says, Hare Krishna, in hopes to save my valuable time and energy, not on this Kali Chela loser, I'll just say the following. It is to be expected from a less than a Shudra Malecha that such diarrhea would be spewed from this insignificant cockroach. Okay. Okay. Oh, my Krishna, Panchali said. I understand your frustration with Devamrita Swami. It really does not surprise me. He removed Srila Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita from Christ Church University and replaced it with his own book, Searching Vedic India. Now he is trying to find some acceptance to get rid of them altogether. He is envious animalistic demon. I can't stand these people. So I guess Tina is in New Zealand, Australia, New Zealand?
New Zealand, Christchurch.
Oh, Christchurch, New Zealand, okay. Where's Narayan? Did it bounce out or what? Okay, anyway, so we'll continue reading. I know it can be so frustrating, Prabhu. However, where we decide to respond to such offensive people can make such a big difference. When we preach palatably using Guru Sadhu Shastra as our go-to, people tend to listen a little more, especially when you use the books. Not as many people read anymore. So quoting from a bona fide source, people are reading things they are never told by these unauthorized leaders. Okay, some more people are joining. More people are joining. Let's see. Okay. Narayan Prabhu, are you seeing this?
Yes.
Okay. So people are commenting like this. Do you want to have a format like this, or what kind of format? We can post and people can comment like this, or does it need to be in a different format?
It could be in this format, but our purpose is very different. We're trying to find out what dissatisfaction may be there with the way Prabhupada is being represented, but we should make it completely clear that we are taking the opposite view of Devamrita, which is that we are accepting that Prabhupada is the last Sampradaya Acharya, and there's nothing to be changed after him. In fact, anything that's been changed from what he has said needs to be brought back to how he stated and what he wanted, and implement what he said, what he wanted done, exactly as he said it. Otherwise, the Krishna movement will just wander off into nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yes, yes. So can you give an example of how things have changed, how Krishna consciousness movement has wandered off the train tracks somewhat?
Well, supposing devotees say that they are in a temple, but they're not entirely satisfied that everything is being taught the way Prabhupada intended. So those who do it, does anyone else agree? And do we get different people agreeing to that? Now, Devamrita Swami, was he from New Vrindavan?
Yes.
Yes, yes, that's the same Swami.
Yeah, I know him. But it seems that he has gone completely away from Krishna consciousness in terms of our Sampradaya. How can he disagree? Prabhupada never disagreed with Thakur Bhaktivinoda or Bhaktisiddhanta, so how can Devamrita disagree with Prabhupada?
Well, we can see the tendency to change Srila Prabhupada's books and edit Prabhupada's books and a lot of things like this. So it doesn't
but
surprise.
there has to be a basis or a rightness in doing it. What is their justification to do that, aside from trying to take out things about women and people of different races and brain sizes, so to try to not offend people rather than to educate them into what the Shastra actually says?
Well, that is no different from editing Prabhupada's words. If you like a Swami or Devamrita, he's some man in a political power in an institution. He's a GBC, I guess, for Australia and New Zealand. So he's basically, an autocratic ruler.
You mean the GBC supports him talking about removing Prabhupada's words and book and rewriting everything in his own language? He agrees that the GBC agrees that he should change Prabhupada's writing.
Well, they're already doing it to a
No. There's two different ways of looking at it.
Right.
In the
Okay.
books that are published by ISKCON, they're trying to, Jayadvaita at least represents it, he's trying to get back to the original tapes and the original pronunciations and the original scriptures. And then, what's his name? The guy that's working with Jayadvaita?
Dravida?
Dravida, yeah. Dravida said there's things I want to change that should have not been there in the first place because it simply isn't politically correct. Well, we cannot agree that if Prabhupada says something that is not politically correct in 2021, that what he says will not be, how do we know that it will not be politically correct in 4021? We can't edit for the future, because if we think the future is going to get more woke and more liberal and more divergent and more make it up as you go along, I don't think we're going to find that that is the case. As time goes on, people are going to need a stricter and tighter understanding of Krishna consciousness, not a looser and more interpreted one. But I was suggesting that people say what they're dissatisfied, not with Prabhupada's writing, but with how the GBC is acting. Should the GBC be elected? Would that make a better? Did Prabhupada want a representative government for ISKCON, or did he want a absolute or tyrannical governance of ISKCON? Those things are measurable from Prabhupada. We can't go off and start making it up as we go along.
So this is what most people are doing. Most of the so-called Kanishtadhikari, elected GBC gurus, they're changing and
But
they're
that's not who we're talking to. If
We're
they're
talk-
doing that, are people disagreeing with it or not?
Yes,
We
certainly.
Okay, if they're disagreeing, we want to create the NGO around their disagreement. And then we go to the GBC and say, how can you change things that people don't want changed? Who gives you the right to change Prabhupada's books? We can't excuse, when we were talking about people putting their opinions, not their opinions about what Prabhupada said, their opinions about how people, whether or not people are accepting what Prabhupada said. I was hoping that this Devamrita thing would be a step towards clarifying a position for going back to the purity of Prabhupada's teaching, not for reinterpreting it according to Devamrita. I'm basically shocked to hear it.
Chai, we got a couple of devotees here. If anyone wants to speak, just raise their hand and I'll unmute you. Okay, someone wants to speak. 1 second. Who's that? All right. All right, so please.
Hare Krishna.
Yes,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna.
all devotees.
Haribol. Chai.
Haribo.
Who's this?
How are you? How are you, Narayan Prabhuji?
Very good. And who am I speaking to?
Yes. I am very graceful that I just join your meeting and listening these beautiful words from you. I am very grateful.
Yes. And to whom am I speaking?
Prabhupada.
Does anyone know who you are?
Speaking.
So introduce yourself, Prabhu. Introduce yourself.
Yep.
Who you-
My name is Shaurya Negi and I am just 14 years old and just trying to be the devotee of the God. And I am chanting 16 rounds in a day. One
Jai.
day 16.
You said you're 16 years old?
14 years old, Prabhu.
14 years old. Well, shall we
Yes.
say you're just the people that we'd like to see speaking with us on this Zoom call, because you are the future of ISKCON. The question is to understand Prabhupada's teaching perfectly so that it is not changed, not made different than he spoke it, and rather, if anything is done now in ISKCON differently than Prabhupada said, then how to get back to how to create a faction of people calling for Prabhupada's original instructions to be followed. Do you like that idea?
Yes. I will follow the instruction of Prabhupada and just build up the ISKCON in the all world. In the all, I will just give to the people the knowledge that given by Prabhupada or Krishna,
Yes.
Lord Krishna. That I will.
Could I ask,
That is my.
where are you situated? Where do you live?
I'm living in India, Prabhu, and India in a small state, Dehradun, Uttarakhand, Dehradun.
Which state?
Uttarakhand.
Huh?
Uttarakhand.
Uttarakhand.
What is it near?
Is it near like Jammu and Kashmir? It's near.
Oh, is near Kashmir and Jammu? Very north.
No. Yeah. I'm in north side. Yep.
So,
Right.
okay.
So,
So, Prabhu,
you
I
have
want your.
Are the people in your community mostly Sikhs?
We speak the Hindi in our community, and I'm in the association with the Rahul Prabhu. He's a devotee of the Lord Krishna that give us some beautiful knowledge, secret knowledge of the
Wonderful.
Krishna.
That's wonderful.
So
He is,
that's
he is, he's from ISKCON himself, or
no. He is he is in ISKCON. Yep.
I
Right.
see.
ISKCON temple. But sometimes he goes out from his job, from his job like college or that. So that is why.
Well, that's
Okay.
wonderful.
Jai.
Anytime you hear the glories of Krishna, you're one step closer to becoming a resident of Krishna Loka.
Yes, Prabhuji, I want your grace. I want your Ashirwad that please, Lord Krishna, accept me.
Yes, Krishna will accept you. Now, the trick is not that Krishna accepts us, but that we accept Krishna. Because here we are in the material world, accepting this body, this person, this family, this politics, that politics, this education, that education. We're accepting all of those things. But when we put those somewhat to the side and accept Krishna, then that is when Krishna will accept us.
Exactly, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu. I really
We
like
don't have to
to.
give those things up, but we have to put our priority, aham brahmasmi, I am the spirit soul, so I am not the body. You have a 14-year-old body, that's wonderful. You got long life ahead, you have short life behind you, as it were, but you are in a position to utilize your body to serve Krishna
Yes,
instead
Prabhuji.
of serving only
Nice to
this
talk with you, Prabhu.
idea and that idea, this
Nice
desire,
to talk
that
with you,
desire.
Prabhu.
Yes, so please we are welcoming you. Hare
Yes, Prabhu.
Krishna.
So,
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
so how did you find out about the Zoom meetings? Prabhu, how did you find out about the Zoom meetings? Did you see it on Facebook or on YouTube, or where did you see it?
He's muted.
Okay,
By one devotee is here, and Hardik Prabhu.
Hardik
He's
Prabhu. Okay,
Hardik Prabhu find out this link and give to me. He's also the association with the ISKCON like that.
very good. Jai.
This
Okay,
is great. Our goal is to bring ISKCON absolutely back to Srila Prabhupada so that there is no difference between what Prabhupada said and what ISKCON does. That's our goal. Because otherwise it just goes wandering off and off and off into different directions. And it will not satisfy Krishna, it will not satisfy Lord Chaitanya, and it will not satisfy anyone who joins us in the ISKCON temple. So we need to go ahead. And temple or no temple is not important. What is important is that we live the reality of our existence. Aham brahmasmi, I am the soul. I am the soul, not that I have a soul. And then that puts us way ahead of all the Abrahamic religions and other religions in the world when we understand I am the soul and I have the body.
okay. So if anyone wants to speak, please just raise your hand and I'll unmute you. So this is the way it's going to work because we got several people here. So just please
That's
raise your
wonderful.
hand. Yes. Okay. So let's continue, Prabhus. Where were we? Okay.
Well, we were talking about bringing ISKCON philosophy, which has been changed bit by bit over the years,
Yeah.
back squarely to what Prabhupada said and instructed in his books, his unchanged books. Right?
Yes.
Which Devamrita Swami is questioning with his questions.
Well,
Yes.
if anyone who questions Prabhupada has ceased to be a disciple of Prabhupada, and therefore he can be Swami this or Swami that, but he has no connection with Prabhupada. You cannot challenge the meaning of your guru's teaching. Maybe he becomes guru and he doesn't want anyone to challenge his teaching, but if he challenges Prabhupada's teaching, then he is an asura. He's just a demon. He's not a devotee anymore. Okay.
Yeah, a lot of people in, at least we saw at the Rath Yatra, a lot of people like that Maheshwara, whatever his name was, he was propagating that Prabhupada was not poisoned, and there were a lot of...
We don't need to talk about people like that because it'll simply confuse others. There's a lot of people that have wacko ideas that they came up with on their own, but we're not concerning ourselves with them. We concern ourselves with what Prabhupada said and did. What Prabhupada said and did, we concern ourselves. Then we see, does ISKCON preach that? Does ISKCON live that? And if ISKCON accepts and lives and preaches that, then ISKCON is very bona fide. Insofar as ISKCON has wandered off of that path, and I think Dave Amrita is a good example of wandering off the path, then we have to say there's a danger in there, and we have to deal with that danger just as though Prabhupada said, a little fire, a little disease,
A little debt.
A little debt, a little fire, a little disease must be dealt with immediately. Otherwise, it can go out of control.
So how to deal with it immediately?
Yes. But we have all Prabhupada's books. There's nothing to add or subtract. All we need to do is try to understand his instructions and implement his instructions. It is not that we have to create something else. And whatever we have created as ISKCON that is not entirely in line with what Prabhupada asked for and ordered and requested and wanted, then that must be changed radically. But
Okay.
we need to get people who agree with us to join with us, like on a polling app, a computerized polling app. Put down your choice. Yes, do you want everything the way Prabhupada said or not? And
Okay,
if
we
you want
got-
the way Prabhupada,
Oh, we have a devotee that wants to speak. He has his
that's
hand raised.
excellent.
Go ahead,
Go
Prabhu.
ahead.
Mahatma Prabhu, you got to unmute yourself, Prabhu. You got to unmute yourself, Mahatma Prabhu. There you go.
Can't you
No,
unmute him? You can't.
he has to
him?
unmute himself. Can you
I
unmute
thought you
yourself?
could-
No,
You
no.
can't do it?
No, I click unmute. Let's see. Allow participants to unmute themselves. Okay. Go ahead. You can unmute yourself, Mahatma Prabhu.
Does he know how?
I
Does he
think
know
he
where
knows
to
how.
look? Does he know where to look to mute himself?
Yeah, it's going to be on the lower, on the iPhone, it's on the lower, where is it? Lower right? No, lower left.
Underneath all the images?
Yeah. Yes, underneath the images.
It
Yes.
unmuted for a second, then it went back to muted.
Yeah.
I
He,
see Mario Pineda is there.
yes, that's him. He wants
And
to
he-
speak.
He's muted.
Yeah. Anyways, let's continue. When he figures out how he can unmute himself, then he can
So
speak.
it's Mario Pineda that we want to hear speak?
Yes, he has his hand raised, so he wants to speak, I guess.
Oh, that's wonderful, because Mario Pineda was one of the people that helped us put on that first Istagosthi and the Masonic Hall in Los Angeles, and Madhu Pandit spoke, and so many people spoke.
Mario, unmute yourself. If you wanted to speak, you got to click on the lower left. It's going to be mute. You're muted. You have to click on the button and then it's going to unmute you. So in this way you can speak. Where is he? Okay. Where is he? All right, let's continue. I guess he doesn't know how to do it.
Just click on it, no?
Yeah, I think it's. I think he's having a little difficulty with that.
He worked very closely with Henry Doctorski on the book, Killing for Krishna. So he's
Yeah, Mario's a
guy to know.
yeah. Mahatma Prabhu is in. I stayed at his house for 3 or 4 days. He's a good, wonderful guy. Jai. Okay, so let's continue. When he is unmuted, then he can speak. He'll have to do it himself. Okay. Anyone has any questions or any realizations they want to share? They can do that now. They can unmute themselves and speak. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people.
Right. That's wonderful.
So we're broadcasting on Facebook and YouTube. If you'd like to join, please join the WhatsApp. Click on the WhatsApp link in the description and you'll get
You
into
notice that here's somebody named, here's Shurya and Magi to everyone. Yup. And then there's somebody else that keep it up. This is comments that are coming in, which are very nice.
Right.
Arjit Das. From Shurya Negi to everyone. I speak Harinam in every state. Well, that's wonderful.
Chai. When I'm doing work, okay. Very good.
How are people typing that in from
the
where?
chat? They can post in the chat any messages they like. It's like text messaging.
They can text their views in. Well, it's
Yes.
very encouraging to have such nice comments being chatted to us.
Yes. All right.
Why is Maheshwar, isn't it?
Okay, Manoj is asking to unmute. Go ahead, Manoj Prabhu. You got to unmute yourself. Yes, go ahead. You can speak now.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Prabhu. Right.
I'm new to the group. So
Okay.
I'm meeting on, so I want to introduce myself.
Please. Yes, sure. Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji to everyone, Prabhuji and Mataji. My name is A.S. Manoj. I am living in Srirangam in Tamil Nadu. And as I am a Krishna devotee for 5 years, and I haven't joined in ISKCON. I am just chatting Harinam for 1 year. And that's all about me. Thank you.
You're in Sri Rangam. Wow, that's one of the most holiest place on earth.
Yes, Prabhuji.
I visited Sri Rangam when I was in India. The first time I was there. Yeah, wonderful place. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stayed there for the rainy season for several months.
Yes, Prabhuji. Even there is a Mund, Jagannath Mund near the Srirangam temple. I'm visiting near that place only.
Oh, wow. Wow. What was the pastime that Lord Chaitanya did there?
Chaitanya Prabhu has been visited to South India to demonstrate the peoples of Mayavadis and all the peoples who were against Hinduism and Shaivism. So he came here and he stayed in Srirangam. He do sevas to Ranganatha and he do some leelas. I have seen in the pic. And then the Jagannath Pond, there is some pic about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his statue also. I seen that. So I got inspired by him. And even I am a worshipper of Lord Shiva first. And Lord Shiva showed me the way to Lord Ramanujacharya. And Ramanujacharya showed the way to Lord Ranganatha. And Ranganatha showed the way to Lord Narasimha. And Narasimha showed the way to Lord Chaitanya. And Chaitanya showed the way to Krishna. This is my journey.
Jai, wow, you have a wonderful journey. So, you're how old are you? How old are you? If
I'm
you don't know,
17 Prabhuji.
17. Oh, wow.
That's very good. We are welcoming you. And if you find, did you say that you were not involved with an ISKCON temple, but you're practicing all of this Krishna consciousness? Is that my understanding? You said,
Yes,
or
Prabhuji.
are you, or are you with the ISKCON temple?
It's breaking
What
up,
I'm trying
man.
to say is, you are welcome to work with us. You're very welcome to work with us because we are working to bring ISKCON back to Prabhupada, closer to Prabhupada's teaching, so that there's no discrepancy between what Prabhupada said and what ISKCON says. Right now, there's a lot of gaps, and those gaps are painful for many people. And we want people to express that pain that they have of seeing the gaps between ISKCON and Prabhupada by announcing it. And then we can bring those pains that they feel into a public view and a public forum where people were saying, we do not want these painful experiences. We want complete adherence and return to Srila Prabhupada. We and all of us and the people that are giving us pain, they will all benefit from this return to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Does that suit your nature? Do you like that? Ramachandra?
Yes, so the devotee is muted. So, anyone else like to comment or share the realization or make an input? Feel free.
That was wonderful. 14 years old, 17 years old.
Hare
This
Krishna,
is the
Narayan
future
Prabhuji.
of the world.
Jai. Yes,
Who's there?
Prabhu.
Narayan Prabhuji, I want your mercy in the chanting, please. Can you give me mercy?
Of course. Who is calling for mercy?
I am Shaurya Negi.
Uh-huh.
That Krishna has
Oh,
said that
sure. Yeah, yes. Mercy,
if the
yes.
Vaishnavas
give
mercy
you
is not there, you
blessings.
cannot
You
go to the
can
dham of the
hear, if you
Krishna.
hear Prabhupada, you need not hear anyone else. Prabhupada is
Yes.
the last Sampradaya Acharya. He's the last person in our line. Where Lord Chaitanya came to get past all of the restrictions that are present in the Hindu faith by opening the door to untouchables, malachas, yavanas, ravanas, yavanas, all of the people that are not considered pious, they can chant Hare Krishna with us. So we don't have any restriction. So we welcome you. You may be from a very Paka Brahmin family or Kshatriya family, Vaishya family, something like that. But we are saying, let's open the door for everybody and chant Hare Krishna openly. And the blessing will be there for you in the midst of that amazing kirtan of chanting.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. That's a very proud moment for me.
And anytime you want that encouragement or blessing or want to say something, to comment or to ask questions, come to the Zoom. Could I ask how old you are, Prabhu?
What, Prabhu? Sorry, I can.
How old are you?
Many?
I'm 14. I'm 14.
Okay, that's nice. You see, all of the rest of I became a devotee. I took initiation from Prabhupada in 1968. I was 24 years old then. Now I'm 78 years old. And so because of that, when I see a younger man like yourself, in 40 years old, I say, welcome, because we need fresh people to come and lift up the Govardhan Hill, help Krishna lift Govardhan Hill. Everybody put up your hand or your stick or your crook for bringing cattle. Put it up and help Krishna lift the Govardhan hill, because that is what needs to be done right now. We need to work
Yes,
together.
exactly.
Okay, I think we have Shravan here too. Shravan Prabhu, is this the Sacramento Shravan? Maybe, I don't know. SHRAVN. Anyways, let's continue.
So how many people we have? We have Shurya.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think 8 devotees online. 9.
That's wonderful. 9, that's great.
Okay, so
So
if anyone's watching this on Facebook and YouTube, if you like to join, just click on the link on the bottom in the description and you'll get to the WhatsApp group, and then the link is posted there. In this way, you can keep, yes.
And don't hesitate. Don't
Hare
hesitate
Krishna,
to
Prabhu.
put your
Hare Krishna.
image up
Hare Krishna,
also.
Prabhu. My name is Harijit Das. I am from India, Northeast state.
Acha.
Hi.
Prabhu, I have one question.
Yes, go ahead.
How may
That,
we serve you?
yes, Prabhu. That why the people are not attracted to Krishna when they see the beautiful pictures of Krishna having fun with the coward boys, having meal with them, so much attractive pictures of Krishna. So why the people are not attracted to these pictures? Or why the people are not attracted to Krishna? What is the reason, Prabhu?
Because they think that Krishna is a mythological person, or maybe a disembodied person. They don't understand that I have a choice to identify with the body that I was born. My mother gave birth, gave me milk. My father supported. I did work. I was taught to do things. I did them for years. That was our bodily mentality. But we can put aside the bodily mentality and say the truth. Aham Brahmasmi. I am spirit soul. I am not this body. I am spirit soul. When a person says, I am not this body, I am spirit soul, then he sees the picture of Krishna from a different point of view. He says, I am part and parcel of the dance of Radha and Krishna. I am part of that loving exchange. Therefore, I should not jealously try to find a beautiful woman to enjoy myself. I should even I'm married, I can say, okay, that's what I have, I'm married, but let me put that down in my desire platform that I am actually, my desire is when I see Radha and Krishna together, because I am part and parcel of Radha and Krishna, and therefore I'm part and parcel of the ecstatic love that they're experiencing in that picture. But you say that people look at the picture, they don't worship. That's because they don't know that they're part of that picture. They don't know that they themselves are also spiritual beings, infinitesimal parts and parcels of Krishna. And as such, we are infinitesimally part of Krishna's loving relationship with Radha. And that when we realize, then we can become full of ecstatic, blissful, loving mood. Otherwise, how we can have? Does that make sense?
Yes, Prabhu, it makes sense. Thank you, Prabhu, for this beautiful answer.
Yeah,
Right.
is there anything else?
In advance.
Anything else you were wanting to know?
Yes, Prabhu, bless me so that I can advance in self-realization.
Okay, well, that's it. So every time now that you see a picture of Radha and Krishna, instead of wondering why people are not accepting this picture, that this is actually not a picture, but Krishna himself in picture form, because Krishna is present in the picture, he's present in the marble of the deity. It is He is there. It's not that it's a symbol of Krishna or the statue of Krishna. No, it is Krishna because He's absolute. So then when you look at that, you can say, now that I understand that I am part of the loving relationship that I see in that picture of Radha and Krishna, let me now explain to those who cannot understand it, sir, madam, you're part and parcel. You are an infinitesimal part, but a genuine, solid, real part of the ecstatic love. So if you're looking for love with your husband and wife, that's not going to produce the level. But if you have the love, ecstatic love of Radha and Krishna, and you know that you're in there somewhere, part of it, then you've given them the best treasure that they could possibly be given. Hare Krishna.
Jai. Okay.
Thank you, Prabhu, for this very
Sure.
beautiful answer.
Prabhuji, sometimes I cry when I chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra to the love, to the Krishna.
Yes.
Sometimes I cry.
Sometimes what?
Sometimes I cry.
That's very nice. And what is triggering you crying? What is the trigger of the tears?
The mercy of the Krishna that made by all that
Yes.
made all people.
That's what Lord
Krishna
Chaitanya
is
has brought, is the sound of Krishna. Before Lord Chaitanya, back in the Dwapara Yuga particularly, everything was so elaborately structured. And then after the Dwapara Yuga came Kali Yuga, there were still Brahmins and Kshatriyas and Vaishyas, Shudras in a very orderly form that were very good. And they were bringing love of God to the population. But then the Mughals came in. That was proof that the Brahmins and Kshatriyas had become weak. And so Lord Chaitanya came and said, no more Hindu, just chant Hare Krishna. No more, don't try to be a religious guy. Try to be a transcendental guy. How do you become transcendental? Chant. And when you chant and you chant sincerely, you will find that you weep. So if you're chanting and weeping, that is a sign that you've understood Lord Chaitanya's purpose in coming to planet Earth in the first place. He wanted everyone to feel like Radharani, to experience the mood of Radharani. And when you chant the Hare Krishna mantra and you cannot help but tears come to your eyes, that is what you're doing. You're experiencing the mood of Radharani. But we cannot artificially say, oh, that's it, because then it will go away. We're not that perfect. Our perfection comes by surrender and submission to the sound of Krishna's name. And when that sound of Krishna's name is present, then we can cry. But we should not take any pride in our tears. We should only become astonished and pleased that Krishna's pastime gorgeously entrancing, that tears are naturally coming out of us. And that apparently, I hope, is what you are doing. Hare Krishna. John?
So what's next? Who wants to ask the next question? Feel free. Or share their realization or anything else?
Yes. Or wants to join our party to deliver the fallen souls on every planet and every part of the planet Earth for the rest of the 10,000 years coming from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We want the plants to also weep in ecstasy. And we can only get them to weep if we chant Hare Krishna to them. Prabhupada told me I should chant to the ant on the table. I didn't realize he meant it literally. I thought it was an example. But why would it be an example? Why should I not chant to the ant? He's pure spirit soul, as am I. I am pure spirit soul. The ant is pure spirit soul. Body is different. I've got 2 arms, 2 legs, big brain, all that waste of time. But the ant, he wiggles around and he is a jiva just like us. And he's being guided. Every step the ant is taking is being guided by the same force that is guiding us, which is Lord Paramatma, Super Soul. Paramatma means the Supreme Soul in the heart. It says in the Gita, sitting next to the jiva is the quiet bird and the noisy, active bird. We are the noisy, active bird. Give me food, give me this, give me that. I want a nice wife, I want a nice car, I want a nice airplane, I want a house. That's what we're saying. And Paramatma is saying, go there, do this, do that. Get a job with IT and you'll be able to afford it. That sort of things. And Paramatma says. But at some point we can say to Paramatma, why am I jumping around asking for things? You are God. You're the Paramatma. You're the Super Soul. You're Vishnu himself. You know what I need. Why are you simply giving me what I want? And Paramatma might respond, because you asked me for it. And so, well, let me stop asking for it. Let me stop asking. You tell me. You not tell me. Take me there. Make me like a puppet. Make my arms and legs and mouth move like a puppet. You do it, my dear Lord Paramatma, my dear Lord Krishna with 4-armed form. Please, you do it. You've been in my heart since I was an insect. Now I'm a human being. Please guide me like that. And if you ask him nicely, and even more so, if you're not just asking, but if you mean it, and you really want him to guide you, he will guide you. Because he's guiding the ants and the birds and the trees and every other creature. Why not you? Hare Krishna. So where are we, Ramachandra?
Anyone else have any questions or realizations they want to share? We have
Yes, realizations would be nice.
yes.
Yeah, I say it. Please pick my question.
This is the Istagosthi. We would love to have a program where we do kirtan, but kirtan you can do every day in the temple. Of course, they don't necessarily chant the melodies that Prabhupada brought with him from Krishna Loka, but they do kirtan. Here we're expressing from the soul, from the jiva, from who I am, guided by Paramatma. We want to speak, guided by Paramatma, speaking person to person, you and me, all of you, and speaking to all of each other as soul, not as body. Okay? Does it make sense? Ramachandra, what's happening? Are you doing something?
Rupa Manjari Prabhu, can you read that question in the chat, Prabhu, or should I read it?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Let's see. Okay. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. How can one know that he is progressing to upper levels? And secondly, if one is just performing few of his activities as per his effort to perform bhakti, not able to bring other activities under Krishna consciousness, would he be called a devotee?
So why not answer the question?
How do you know that one is progressing to upper levels? Well, you become more conscious of Krishna and less conscious about the material bodily necessities.
What else he said? It was fairly complicated.
He said, if one is just performing few of his activities as per his effort to perform bhakti, not able to bring other activities under Krishna consciousness, would he be called a devotee?
Anyone who hears the holy name of Krishna, the Hare Krishna mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Anyone who can hear the Maha Mantra, he has already become a devotee. The question is how to expand the consciousness from Hare Krishna to every breath you take, to every move you make, to every encounter you have with other people. Now, if you have an encounter with a human being, then how are you going to become Krishna conscious? You have to have an encounter with the jiva of that person. If I look at a person and I consider their body to be them, then it's hard to do the next. It's hard to go to the next step. But if I look at that person, I say, Aham Brahmasmi. This person is also a soul who is not his body. The soul will last past the body. The body will get old and shriveled and wrinkled or get killed by a car crash and die. But he will remain. So we will talk. Soul talk, soul to soul, jiva to jiva, as spirit soul, from eternal being to eternal being. And it's not easy to begin with because we're used to talking as terms of believing that we are the body. But when we can separate ourselves from our belief that we are our body, then we can begin to recognize when I speak, I don't have to speak concerning doubts, bodily doubts or bodily concerns or bodily limitations or bodily anything. The soul has no limitation. When you speak, you can speak the truth, and it's really true truth, not simply truth as interpreted through educational system in school with the body. Now, the body must be renounced in terms of identity. Oh, you stay in your body, that's fine. Prabhupada was in a body, but that did not mean that he saw himself as his body. His body was simply the vehicle by which he was preaching. And you can do the same thing. Use your body as a preaching, but you have to withdraw your mind from the objects of the senses. That's stated in the Gita. You have to withdraw your mind, and the soul has to grab the mind and beat it with a shoe and say, no more identifying with the body, please. You have no right to do that. But I want to. No, bang, you can't do it. I wanted to identify with a finger. No, bang, no fingers. You identify as the representative of soul, jiva, and let the body, but then the body will die all by itself because that won't be there to make it feel like it's alive. Don't worry, the body is a chemical machine. And if you abandon the body and come to the soul, I am the identity that you want to be with, not the body. You just because you're in the mind, you think you can make the body feel like a person. Well, forget it. Just come back and stay with me, the soul. I am the person, part and parcel of the supreme person, Krishna. I'm an infinitesimal part of the supreme being. And so you, the mind, can come here, and if you don't, I'll whack you with a shoe. And Prabhupada's guru said that. I'm not just making it up. So then, what does the body do? Well, the body goes by the planets that it was born under, Moon, Saturn, Venus, Jupiter, whatever, and Sun. And the body then operates according to the three modes of material nature: goodness, passion, and ignorance. So what does the body do if the soul is not identifying with the body, and if the mind is not identifying with the body, but is identifying instead with the soul? Well, the body just goes out like a machine that's used for harvesting grain, like a big machine behind a tractor, and it goes whack, 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 and it takes the grain in and makes it into bread, and then a bread machine. So the body is just a machine, and it gathers up things to eat and eats them and sleeps It drinks water. It needs water to dilute the grains of the stomach. That's what the body can do without the mind getting involved. So when we want somebody else, when we want to understand that people are becoming Krishna conscious, the first thing is, aham brahmasmi. When I talk to people in a bank or in a grocery store or any place like that, I say, oh, sir, you look very intelligent, sir. Can I ask you a question? And you look at me surprised. Why am I being asked a question? Oh, yes, you can ask. I said, do you have a soul? And usually the guy is a Christian or something like that, Jewish, Christian, Muslim. And he stands up straight and says, of course, yes, I have the soul. And I look at him and I say, well, sir, it may surprise you, but I do not have a soul. He looks at me, oh my God, what have I gotten myself into in this conversation with this crazy guy, me? And I say, I don't have a soul. And I look at him straight and I said, I am the soul and I have a body. Aham brahmasmi. I am the soul. I have a body. And what does he do? Usually he looks very surprised. Then I said, what do you think of that? Do you like it? Very few people now, when I say that to them, 2 or 3 times a day, I ask people, do you have a soul? Just because what am I going to do? Stand in line buying groceries and say nothing? So I say, do you have a soul? I have a soul. I don't have a soul. Well, you don't have a soul. I am the soul. I have a body. Do you like that? And they said, well, yeah, that sounds nice. I said, can you imagine? I say to them, what if you considered that you don't have a soul, but that you are the soul, not that you have a soul, that you are the soul? I said, a little example is, supposing I could say, I am the driver of the car. I'm not the car, but I'm the driver. I mean, everyone is going on saying, I am a car, meaning I am a body, and I have a soul. I have a driver. Why do you say that? Why didn't you say, I am the driver and I have a car? The car is inanimate. But when we got a car and we really like it and we love the car, we are attached to it, we try to pretend that that car is more me and them some. If a man knows how limited he is, he wakes up in the morning, he's getting a little fat on the tummy, he's got scars from when he got cut when he was a kid, he's got hair here and there, and then he gets dressed in his clothes, which covers up all of these defects that he sees in himself. Then he goes out to his car and says, yes, there is the body that I wish I had. And he gets into his Mercedes-Benz or his Rolls-Royce or his Tesla. He gets in, says, yes, this is now the body that I can be. I am the body of this car, not the body inside, not the body, I'm almost the body in the clothes, and I'm definitely not the body inside the clothes. But that's because you see the body as the self. What if you see, what if he says, I am the jiva, the soul, inside the body, inside the clothes, inside the car? Then he can become satisfied, finally. Does that make sense? Hello?
Jai.
Where's the person whose question I was answering? Is he still there?
Is that person there? They can say yes. I guess not.
Who was I speaking to?
You're speaking to
Hardik Soin.
Hardik, yes.
Is he still there?
He's still here, yes.
Well, did he like my explanation?
We got a question from Arijit Das. He said, Prabhu,
You have a question from Arjun, but why don't we ask if he liked the, I gave him an elaborate question to his answer to his question. Did he like it?
He's not responding, so let's move on.
Okay,
Whenever-
well, he can come back in and whenever he likes.
Yes.
Hare
Okay,
Krishna,
so,
Prabhuji.
oh,
So what's the next question?
Arijit Das says, Prabhu, I
Hare Krishna.
sometimes.
Yes,
Hare
Hardik.
Krishna.
Yes, Hardik. Yes, go ahead.
I'm just muted. And Shravan is muted. What can you
Okay,
do
so
to-
there's another question by Arjit Prabhu. Prabhu, I sometimes try to convince my parents to worship Krishna, but they tell me, aha, shut up, you talk too much. So how to convince them, Prabhu?
Well, who do they worship?
What are the techniques we can use?
So who do his parents worship?
Who do your parents worship? Demigods. He's saying demigods.
Well, you can say Krishna by name means all attractive. Shiva does not attempt to be all attractive. Vishnu does not attempt to be all attractive. Durga is not all attractive. Parvati is not all attractive. Saraswati is not all. But Krishna means all attractive. In fact, Krishna means the all attractive source of life. So whoever is the demigod, they are expanded from Krishna. They're manifested from Krishna. So why not go for the source instead of the outcome? If you worship Krishna, you're worshiping Durga and Shiva and everyone automatically. Right? Because they're all part and parcel of Krishna. Just if I worship Krishna, I'm also worshiping you because you're part and parcel of Krishna. So I worship Krishna, and that enhances my worship of every single jiva, meaning every plant, every tree, every ant, every human being, every demigod. I am worshiping them. So what is the difficulty? By worshiping Krishna, everyone is included. But if I just try to worship this part or that part, then it's not all included. Does that make sense?
He says, yes, Prabhu.
So when you talk to your parents, say, Krishna means the source of all of the demigods, all of the beings, all of the movie actors. He's the source of everything you think is cool and nice and fun. Source of the king, source of the beautiful woman, the beautiful, handsome man. He's the source of all of these things. So if you worship Krishna, you automatically get those things without extra effort. So that way you'll become the deliverer of your parents and the acharya of your parents. You'll be able to uplift them to a standard where they can have their demigods inside of Krishna, because that's where they are.
Right.
This is an unexpected adventure, isn't it?
Yes. Every Istagosthi is an unexpected adventure. So
Yeah, that's the beauty of it.
yes, yes.
Because Istagosthi means circle of cowherd boys. That's in Krishna Loka. And Krishna is sitting with the cowherd boys. So we have so many people, 7 people or so on this Zoom call. That's Istagosthi. But take into account there's dozens of cowherd boys sitting with us too. This is not a material thing. This is transcendental. And where is the transcendental part? The cowherd boys are with us. And who is with the cowherd boys? Does anyone want to answer that one? Rupa, maybe?
The cow herds boy cow.
Yeah, but who is Rupa? Who's the leader of the cowherd boys?
The cow herds boy cow.
Krishna.
Krishna. Yes. So Krishna is with the cowherd boys. And that is, and we are with the cowherd boys because this is Istagosthi. So we should feel very good association right now. And that's why you say so many nice things when you are asking questions and making statements. They're very nice things because you're being influenced by cowherd boys.
Jai.
Joy.
All right, so anyone else like to speak or anything? It was a
Shravan
beautiful
there
discussion. Who said this? I think it's Hardik.
Arjit.
What about
Arjit.
Arjit?
Arjit said it was a beautiful discussion. My respectful obeisances unto you, Prabhu. Okay,
My
Jai.
respectful unto you, Arjit. Acharya.
Okay,
Thank you.
so I
And
will
how
play.
about Hardik?
So Mahaprabhu is in the house. Oh, well, 1 second. Mahaprabhu is coming in. So
That's nice.
Mahaprabhu is connecting. Okay, Mahaprabhu will have to. Let's see. Mahaprabhu, join the audio. Okay. Let me unmute Mahaprabhu.
It doesn't show a microphone for him.
Yeah, he's trying to connect to audio right now.
Oh, there it
Okay.
goes.
Where is Mahaprabhu?
He's
ask
there,
him.
but now he's muted.
Yeah, Mahaprabhu, unmute yourself, Prabhu.
Haribol.
Great.
Hare Krishna.
Haribol.
Hare Krishna. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Oh,
we
yeah.
can, Mahaprabhu.
All right. Thank you for letting me. And I was visiting with my father, 95 years old.
Wow.
Jai.
Hare Krishna.
Why not put your father on the Zoom call sometime?
Oh, maybe one day I will when I'm at his home.
Yes.
Excellent.
Yes.
Okay.
Have him ask any question that he likes. And we tell him that we're not 95. We want his wisdom.
Thank you, Narayan. Thank you for letting me in. Haribol, everyone.
Haribol.
Well, welcome.
Okay, Mahaprabhu, where are you? Are you at home?
I'm
Or
home.
Indra?
I just got home.
Okay, so I want to show you a video of Prabhupada chanting in Thompson Square Park. It's only a 5-minute video. Are you ready for it?
I'm ready. Where's Thompson Square?
Narayan Prabhu, where's Thompson Square Park? Can you
It's
explain?
the lower east side of New York City, not far from the temple on 26 2nd Avenue. That's down at the bottom of 2nd Avenue near Houston Street, which most people call it Houston Street, but they pronounce it Houston Street. And it's over not far from the University of New York University, where there's a park. So there's also
Fantastic.
Tompkins Square Park with a great big tree in it.
Okay, you ready,
I'm,
Mahaprabhu?
I'm ready.
Okay, this is for you.
Hare Krishna. Wonderful.
Hey, what do you think, Mahaprabhu?
I think that was wonderful. I saw that everybody was on the same wavelength. Everybody was chanting from the jiva. I saw
Yeah.
bodies. I saw bodies. I didn't think of the mind, but what I thought of was chanting from the jiva platform, from so many diverse people, young, old, good, bad, ugly, beautiful. We were all chanting on the same wavelength, and I think that's what the world is missing. Those are my thoughts.
So we have a question from Arijit Prabhu. He asked, is Narayan Maharaj in the disciplic succession, Guru Parampara, not a bogus guru? Last question.
Should we answer that question right now or pursue more things about the kirtan?
No, I think we should leave that question and, we don't, we can discuss it personally.
Yeah, about the kirtan, you saw people there, the Kirtanananda was there, and so many others were there. Gargamuni was there, and you saw how the children were chanting, and one lady was very nice looking lady was dancing with a style. I don't know if she ever became a devotee. I never saw her as a devotee, but look at that. She's a devotee. She's in Krishna Loka because of the way that she was dancing and chanting. So it doesn't matter if you become a member of ISKCON to benefit. You benefit when you chant and hear from the transcendental platform. And I would like to point out that this melody was a melody that Prabhupada brought with him from Krishna Loka. And unless we are demons or atheists, we should not think otherwise. It came
Must we chant in the same key, or does everybody have their own key in which they chant?
No, not everybody has their own key. Prabhupada chanted in so many keys. We chant according to the Guru, according to the spiritual master. If we make it up our own way, that's what you have in ISKCON today. You have everybody chanting in their own way, and you can't get any two people to agree.
So we must
chant. Go back to the origin. Go back to Godhead. Go back to the origin, which is the chanting of Srila Prabhupada. He said the chanting should be heard from the lips of a pure devotee for full effect to be achieved. Chanting from the lips of non-devotees should be avoided as much as milk touched by the lips of a serpent has a poisonous effect. So if a person is a neophyte disciple of a pure devotee like Prabhupada, and they come up with their own melody, that's not following the spiritual master. That's a demoniac thing. It's trying to say, I'm as good as the spiritual master, or the spiritual master is no better than I am. If the spiritual master chants, I will chant my way. That is not the principle of the disciplic succession.
So we must emulate the way Prabhupada chanted.
Yeah, of course. Why not? He's the spiritual master. I mean, wouldn't it be odd if you go to see the Buddhists and they're all doing hip hop? Why? Why? They have to go like Buddha. Follow the teacher. We're not, so people are thinking that we can do whatever we please, but that's not the case. We can only do what we're shown to do by the spiritual master. You can see that kirtan was a perfect example of perfect kirtan amongst perfect people. And who are these perfect people? The lowest of humanity. They're terrible people. They're meat eaters. They're drunkards. They're pot smokers. They're everything you can imagine. But they became the most wonderful human beings by chanting in the mood of Srila Prabhupada. You see? It's not that we are wonderful because we chant. The chanting makes us wonderful as long as we emulate the chanting of the spiritual master. If we don't, then we deserve what we get, which is hell. A hellish outcome. There's someone in this picture here chanting Hare Krishna, bringing Prabhupada up to the birthplace of Radharani. The Prabhupada melody, of course.
Okay, so we're coming down to the last few minutes. Mahaprabhu, anything you want to share? Or anyone else?
I would like to compliment Mahaprabhu for having said perfect words. Whoever hears the recording of this Zoom call, hearing Mahaprabhu, I want to encourage them to hear what Mahaprabhu said and the way he said it, because that is the sound of a disciple accepting his spiritual master.
Hare Krishna.
Joy.
Haribol, Haribol. I said what I felt.
Aye.
And that's because you heard Prabhupada chanting from Vaikuntha. Narottam Das Thakur says, Hare Krishna comes straight from Krishna Loka. Bhava chanting, I have no connection. Day and night I'm burning in this dark world without working to make the correction. So that's the world. But Prabhupada comes into that world with the Mahamantra. And when people chant according to the way he is chanting, you can see the results. You can see the outcome,
Yes.
the sublime outcome in a park in New York City with people that have barely ever chanted before, if at all. A lot of the people in that park were never encountered the chant before. Some of them were coming to the temple at 26th Avenue, natural skiffs, and they knew how to chant from Prabhupada, but they didn't dare change anything. Why would they, how could they dare to change the way Prabhupada chanted? So Prabhupada led the kirtan, they followed it impeccably with their whole heart, and then all the people around joined in impeccably, joining in with their whole heart. So there was no difference between those who attended the temple and those who heard and chanted for the first time. That's the secret of Krishna consciousness. Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Join.
Thank you,
And Chandra
Nayanara.
Prabhu, thank you for playing that sublime kirtan. And the person who wanted us to have a kirtan, I pray that they're still on our call and that they're satisfied.
Okay, Hardik Prabhu wants to say something. Go ahead, Hardik Prabhu.
No, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Sure, you're welcome. Please join us next time, every day. Not every day, but every Wednesdays and Saturdays and Sundays. We try to have this program. So,
Now, Prabhuji is the plural of Prabhu.
No, it's not really bona fide, actually. Prabhu means master. Prabhuji is sort of like a term of endearment.
Ah.
It's almost like little Prabhu. It's not appropriate to say it. We say Prabhuji because we are kind to our godbrothers, but we should say Prabhu and mean it, because Prabhuji is just a diminutive term.
Mhm. Got it.
Or term of intimacy.
How did I become Mahaprabhu 95?
your dad is 95.
Oh,
so I
that's
said-
right. Oh, that's right. Exactly. Oh, I wasn't quick enough. Excellent.
Mahaprabhu 95.
That's great. My father's with me.
Yes, yes.
That's great. How was everybody's Sunday?
Sunday, fun day.
Sunday fun day.
Interesting. That's today. Sunday.
Mm.
Tonight.
Was it a spiritual day for us all?
We were having discussion, Istagosthi, without the recording. We were discussing how we can get people to express their feelings about what they've heard from Prabhupada that they don't hear in the temples and from the teachers in the temples. And we want to create a poll like the polls they have. Do you like Biden or do you like Trump or do you like whatever? You can push your button with their email, and we want to start collecting what people feel about whether or not ISKCON is following Prabhupada's example closely enough or not. Of course, for you, Mahaprabhu, your exposure to Krishna consciousness is on the program. So hopefully you're getting an experience of following Prabhupada. But all the people who go to temples, many of them either give up their sense of justice and do whatever is done, or sometimes they just feel weird and they do it anyhow, or sometimes they feel really weird and they don't go back again. So that's what we're trying to resolve, so that we can go to the temples, to the GVC, to all of these people and say, there's a demand that you follow things the way Prabhupada did them. Why are you doing otherwise? Is Prabhupada chopped liver or something? Why don't you do it the way Prabhupada said? And that's our goal. And that's what we were talking about today in our meetings in Sacramento.
When did you arrive back home?
About 6.
At 6. Today?
Yes, 6 in the evening.
Nice. How long was the drive?
You're gonna have to ask Rupa Manjari.
It was like 7-8 hours
Oh, wow. Smooth sailing?
for the most part. Yeah.
Nice. All right. That's good. Must have been fun. You
With
went to a
Narayan, it's always fun.
Too much fun, like my daughter says.
What did you say? Too much fun about what?
Hanging out with you.
Really? Your daughter says like that?
No. My daughter used to say when she was little, too much fun. Just like a joke.
Yes. Oh yes. Well,
Everybody says it's too much fun when they're in your presence, Nayanarayan.
Yeah. But behind my back, they try to sharpen their swords and put bullets in their guns. Maybe not.
Jai,
So
well, right.
we have about 10 minutes left. Narayan, there was a question about.
He's gone, so we don't need to say it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Next time.
What was the question?
Is B.V. Narayan Maharaj in the disciplic succession of Guru Parampara not a bogus guru?
No, B.V. Narayan Maharaj was never authorized to become a guru by his teacher, who was his guru. Now, Keshava Maharaj, Prabhupada was living with Keshava Maharaj after he left family life, but Narayan Maharaj took sannyas, but he was never authorized to become a guru by anybody. He just decided to do it, and actually he became friends with a lot of Prabhupada disciples, and when chaos developed in the ISKCON movement, particularly after Prabhupada left and went to Samadhi, they turned to Narayan Maharaj because he was Indian and had a beard and everything was nice.
Oop.
So, but that didn't make him a bona fide guru. He had no training to be guru. He was supposed to be a preacher, sannyasi.
Who trains a guru?
Guru means you have to be an uttama adhikari. You have to be a pure devotee of the Lord, like Prabhupada. You have to be not how to go back to Krishna Loka, how he has come from Krishna Loka to bring you back to Krishna Loka. Like Jesus, like a guru, he came from Krishna Loka to bring people, he came from the kingdom of God to bring people back. So unless you're coming from Krishna Loka, how can you take anyone back to Krishna Loka? It would be the blind leading the blind. And as Prabhupada puts it, if you're not a pure devotee of Uttamadhikari, then what you're teaching as coming across as though you're a guru, coming across, you are offering insufficient guidance. Okay, insufficient guidance. And Narayan Maharaj clearly offered insufficient guidance. And he took on very many people. He didn't even insist that they follow all four regulated principles. He let them smoke pot and take drugs. So he took on all these devotees that had fallen away from Prabhupada's movement and accepted them and reinitiated many of them. And then he got poisoned by them, and he ended up with a cancer in his intestines or lungs and died.
No, in his colon.
Because he, in his colon cancer, he took on their karma in his colon. So what did he get out of becoming a guru? It was wrong. Anyhow, that's it. So what does somebody want to say?
Don't become a guru unless you want colon cancer.
Oh, well, he, a devotee from Saranagati, a very nice lady, said, "Why are you objecting to Narayan Maharaj?" And I looked at her with, total outrage. And she said, "Look at it this way. He's taking on devotees who were formerly Prabhupada devotees that were committing many sins, that were not following the principles, that were speaking blasphemies, and on their own, and he took them on and is taking on their karma. He has to take on the karma of these people instead of Prabhupada taking on their karma. When Prabhupada initiates someone, he takes on their karma. So if they leave Prabhupada and say, we renounce Prabhupada, now we take Narayan Maharaj, he will take on our karma. Why, she said, do you object? Let him take it on. And he did, and very shortly after, he died.
Okay, I think we can end it here, Prabhu. So next session is going to be...
If our friend stayed listening to the program, then he got the answer he was looking for at the end of the program.
Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhus.
Hare Krishna.
Please accept my obeisances. Please accept my regards. Please accept my encouragement. Please accept my blessings. And please accept Prabhupada's lotus feet as the last in the line of a cyclic succession for the rest of the 10,000 years of the golden age of Kali. And please join us in the lead for 10,000 years, because that's what Lord Chaitanya wants you to do.
Haribol. Thank you, Prabhu.
Haribol.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.